Yeah, I mean, he's struggling a little bit with the neck, so he's just going to go through pregame and see if he's available. But that's all I know at this point. He's just got to go through his process and see if he's got it out a little bit tonight or if he can't go. So that'll be determined, I guess, in the next hour or so.
You take things one game at a time, but looking at this road trip, knowing that you're going to be shorthanded, what's the message to this group? What do you want to get out of this trip?
Play hard, play the right way, play together, try to improve at what we do. Win or lose, we've said all year that we just want to continually find improvement, areas to grow. So that's nothing's changed there. We want to play the right way, approach the game the right way, and get better. If we do that, win or lose, it's been progress.
Greg Logan with Newsday.
Steve, with no Kyrie on all 3 games of this trip, do you look at that as another setback in terms of building the kind of chemistry you want to have before the playoffs?
No, I mean, we still waiting on Kevin, to fully heal and to be able to play. So I don't know that it matters at this stage, until we get Kevin and hopefully have health all the way around. It's not going to be there anyway. So I don't think that's a factor right now.
Brian Lewis with the New York Post.
If Kevin couldn't go with that, if James couldn't go, would that presumably then be Tyler at the point?
I'd play Jesus tonight if we had a chance. I would probably start him. Sorry, go ahead. Sorry to tell dad jokes. Press conference, Brian. Sorry, what was the question?
I was just saying if James can't go, would that presumably be Tyler at the point, or would that be Bruce?
Yeah, I think Tyler. Ball handling. We're getting down to it's really only Tyler as far as kind of that lead guard type role. So I think Tyler would handle the ball and start the game if James couldn't go.
Alex Schiffer with The Athletic.
Hey, James. Jeez. Hey, Steve.
Him again.
Coincidentally, both Portland and Utah. I mean, no one takes and makes as many threes in the league as those who just. What challenges does Portland pose from deep, given the rate they shoot at?
Yeah, I mean they shoot them early and often. Obviously, we know Dame is incredible, but CJ and Gary Trent Jr. are also excellent 3-point shooters. So they have guys that can really make them. They shoot them, at an elite level, and they shoot them often. So definitely guarding the 3-point line is important for us tonight.
Malika Andrews. Go ahead, Alex.
Just to follow up, obviously, Blake played on a minutes restriction Sunday. Do you expect a similar restriction for him tonight, or maybe bump it up a little bit?
Very, very gradual. I definitely don't want to get excited and over tax him as we try to ramp him up. We got to remember he's played 1 game in basically a month, so he could play more minutes, but I definitely don't want to, jeopardize his long-term health.
Malika Andrews with ESPN.
Concentrating really hard on calling you Steve after all of this tonight. Steve, is Kevin on this road trip with you guys?
No, Kevin stayed. It was a 6-hour flight, very little gym time, back to back. Getting in the middle of the night. At the end of the day, I just think we just felt like it wouldn't benefit him to travel across the country while he's trying to get that critical last part of his rehab done.
And is that I know you mentioned the back-to-back, but is that for the duration Detroit as well, or is there still room for him to join?
Yeah, no, he won't join us on this trip.
And then Landry, I know he's not there to start, but what is the thought with him?
You know what? I actually haven't got the update, but there is the possibility he could join us in Detroit. But I haven't got the update, so I don't quote me on him coming to Detroit.
Thanks, Kevin. Just kidding.
Matt Brooks with Nets Daily.
Hey, Steve, I was just wondering if there was an update on Kevin. I know he's not with the trip at all, or he's not on the trip right now, but do you think you have a timeline for when he's going to be back, or still kind of up in the air?
I think it's still up in the air. He just has to close that kind of critical last stage of his rehab. He's working out on the court pretty much every day. Looks great. Just trying to make sure that that functional strength is there and that he's, we're confident that he can re-enter, playing and so, safely. That's the thing, right? Is that Kevin's doing very well. If this was the playoffs, there's a chance he'd be back, very soon. But there's no point in taking a big risk with him when the most important thing is to get him back for the remainder of the season.
Thanks so much, Coach. We appreciate it.
Thanks, everybody. Let's try to clean it up next time, all right?
Yeah. Sorry. Thanks, Steve.
Thanks, Steve.
I got it off to a bad start. My bad.
We all blame